What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Detroit basketball is finally back. It's been many a years, but the Pistons are playing really good basketball. Super young, fun team. Only played 3 games, but they're showing a lot of flashes, a lot of potential from a lot of guys, to be completely honest. But I want to talk about some of these players, these first few games, and how things look so positive for them right now. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But let's talk about some Detroit Pistons basketball. Before we talk about it, who are you most impressed with through the first 3 games? I'm going to give you a short, easy answer. It's going to be my first answer. Jalen Duren has been an absolute monster, so let's talk about him first. I don't know if you guys have heard the saying, man amongst boys out there, but he is definitely a monster amongst boys because the dude's only 19 and he is a freak of nature, destroying. Just straight out destroying. 23 and 15 tonight. But he's averaging 18 or 19, I think it was, 18 points, 15 rebounds per game, 4 assists on 80+% from the field. That is just some crazy stuff. The rebounding is crazy. We haven't seen somebody getting 15 boards a game in a minute. And it's crazy when you realize he's only 19 years old. And I know that's a fun joke for Jason Tatum and stuff. But he really is that young. He is making this big of an impact this early. It's only his second season. And he looks really, really good, starting center of the future for sure, and has been effective, to say the least. Another thing that I thought was pretty cool here, 6 offensive rebounds per game. You're not getting 15 boards without being active on the offensive glass. So that's giving you another 6 possessions, which could be another 12 to 18 points for the offense. That's very helpful. Plus 3 blocks per game almost. That's super, important in the grand scheme of things because you just took away possibly 6 points from the other team, and you're protecting that rim, and every very good defensive team needs an anchor. So shout out Jalen Duren. They also got a pretty underrated guy, pretty much has been disrespected because people didn't want to give him his credit because he was injured last year. They didn't want to bring up, why his numbers were bad last year when it was straight up because he was injured. But Cade Cunningham is back, and he's giving you 22 and 8 per game, 22 points, 8 assists. From your first round, your first pick in the draft a couple of years ago, and he looks damn good. He looks damn good controlling the pick and roll, kind of running a snake through there and setting up his teammates. Been pretty good from 3, 43% from 3. That's pretty nice. I think, he's the best player on this team. He's the most important player on this team, and there's a reason he went first overall, and a lot of people forgot. I mean, just tonight, 25 and 10 against the Bulls. And they play against the Bulls, and Zach LaVine goes for 50+. And the story of the game isn't that, Zach LaVine goes, Herculean and beats the Pistons. It's Zach LaVine puts up 50, and they lose by double digits to the Pistons. So, shout out to that. Dude put up 50, and his team lost by 16. Shows how good the Pistons overall were covering out everybody else and not letting anybody else get going. But let's talk about the top 5 pick, Ausar Thompson. I was very surprised that Monty's elected to go with him as a starter, but it's worked really well. The defense and the rebounding he's been providing are awesome. You don't need him to go out there and score 20 points a game. His shot is kind of struggling, but when he's giving you almost 11 rebounds per game from your guard forward spot, you can't really complain. And when he's locking up and he's getting several blocks, several steals, whatever it is, he's making an impact. He's providing value to your offense and your defense without scoring the ball. And for a young guy, that is so rare. And I think it's really, really important for this team because he's going to have to take a back seat to some guys. Cade's going to have the ball the most. You don't want some guy that's going to be in here trying to pry the ball away from your best, most important player, but he comes in and compliments him instead. That's really good to have. We've been talking about the young guys, and that's important. But, there is a few veterans on this team that are playing good basketball. And I would say the one that really deserves a lot of credit is Alec Burks, 16 points per game off the bench. That's pretty nice. You get 16 off the bench from anybody, they're in the 6th man of the year conversation. So if he keeps that up, that'll be really important. The really crazy thing is he's 50% from 3 on 7 attempts. So if he keeps, I'm sure it'll probably regress a little bit to the mean. But if he keeps that up, that's 6th man of the year numbers for sure. So I think, him coming in and being able to give Cade a spell and, take over the offense a little bit has been nice. And he's kind of pairing pretty well with Ivy on the bench. I didn't think that the Pistons would bench Jaden Ivey to start the season. I don't even think it's necessarily a benching. It's a, look, we need you to come off the bench and be that 6th, 7th guy and make an impact because we have so many young, good players. And we think that what you provide is going to be better suited to be a spark plug off the bench. And Ivey's done pretty good. Done pretty good. He's not forcing shots, and he's not just going out there hunting, trying to score, and taking bad shots and making dumb plays like a lot of young players will do. He's kind of been selective. I think he only took 6 shots tonight. I think played really well in the second game they played against the Hornets. It was like, what did he have? Like 20 or 18, whatever points it was. Played pretty well, but he didn't take a ton of shots. He hasn't, he's just not making those plays that kill your offense. So, shout out to him. Kudos to him for being a young guy and kind of, you're a high pick the year before, and now you're going to come off the bench. A lot of young guys do not react well to that. He's done pretty good through the first 3 games. Quick little nod to Isaiah Stewart, Beef Stew. 14 points, 10 rebounds per game on 51% shooting. That's pretty solid. And he's made a couple of threes in a couple of the games. Going to need to space the floor for Duren to be able to destroy the paint, and it opens up spacing for Cade. It's a good thing. I think this team can be even better. It's only been 3 games, so I'm sure some guys, a young team, you're going to have guys that have bad nights. You're going to have long stretches where the team isn't playing as great, but you want to take these flashes like these first 3 games where they've been really good, and that's what you're building your future towards. That's what they can look like, but even better down the line. So it's fun basketball in Detroit, and you haven't been able to say that for a long time, but these young dudes, they're a show. They're going to get a lot of casual fans kind of catching on to them as the season goes, and I'm excited to watch them. But anywho, who has most impressed you? For me, you guys know the answer. It's Jalen Duren. I didn't think he'd be able to do this early. I was thinking like a 13-11 kind of season. We'll see how it pans out the next 79 games. But, you're putting up the numbers he's putting up at his age and the impact he's making. He's the guy that I've been really, really impressed with. Cade Cunningham's a close second, but I think Cade can be even better than what he's doing. The 22 and 8, I expect him to be able to get to 25. That should be kind of the bar for him as the season goes. But it's good times in Detroit, so shout out to them. But my mother is calling me, so I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you're new. Peace.